Good evening. I'm Judy Bailey. I'm the chairman of the Gordon County Commissioners. I'm outside where the organizer of this event is having his cooks meeting. We are very grateful to have everyone with us here tonight. It was an endeavor that was taken on by the manager of the KOA, Mr. Walkover, and his family and crew, but it takes a lot of people. There's been the radio stations have been involved, the TV stations, the local ones have been involved. A lot of publicity has been out there. As far as the county, this will be our first event where we have a special event where we have actually an on-site beer garden. And for us, that's a first. And I hope this will become an annual event and that everyone has a great time and will come back often and bring their pig with them.
What's your economic base?
This county is mainly industrial. We have, of course, been at a heavily carpet for many, many years, but thanks to people who have had some foresight, there has been a good bit of diversity, but we still are heavily carpet and flooring. Is our environment here, and we do have a good location, and we hope that we can bring that diverse industry in here over the next few years.
We have people from just Calhoun that came out and volunteered for us, the Girl Scouts. We have our family at KOA, because they don't know it, but they volunteered. But that's okay. But anyway, and of course, this lady right here, my beautiful wife, without which we would not be able to do this, and I thought she was going to leave a few times or tell me to get out. But anyway, we just wanted to put on a good show for everybody. I know you guys are probably tired of seeing me at all the cooks meetings, but I got bad news for you because we're going to do this again next year. Call us crazy, but November 29th and the 30th, it looks like would be the dates. I will send in the forms to KCBS tomorrow or Monday morning. And just to let you all know, if anybody wants to reserve their spots, because I've had people ask, my girl Julie in the office, you can see her before you leave, and we will take a $50 deposit to hold your spot, and then we'd like, within 6 weeks of the tournament, start sending in checks, and we'll send out reminders and stuff. But if y'all want to come back, we'd love to have you. Okay, let's get on with the awards. That's why y'all are here. First, we have our poker run, our Divine poker run, our David Birchett Memorial that we started a scholarship for. And it would be most fitting that David's sister got a flush, okay? And she actually has the 7, 8, 9, 10 of spades. And when they came back to KOA to pick the last card, her husband picked first and picked the Jack of spades. This is divine intervention. So let me call you up, baby. And this is Ann Birchett, and she won our trophy. Tell everybody. And you take this home to the Birchett family where it belongs. Okay, and now for our car show participants. The winner of the car show is the 1966 Ford Fairlane. So if the owner of that is here, they can come up.
Your lights are on?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a Galaxy. See, it's been a long week. But you can still come get your trophy.
What about this one?
That was, let's see, what we win.
You gotta do 4 of them?
I gotta do 6.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These bigger ones, they tearing me up.
Wow.
Can we do 4 across the top and then 2 at the bottom?
Well, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna move that one
Do
up.
4 in the middle.
All right, give it up for
One on
Georgia
each
Pine.
That one,
Thank you very much. How's that barbecue, everybody?
that one down.
Yeah.
We'll touch
A
box
few more
up.
cheers. Now, we're gonna get
Which one did y'all say? This one?
I'll do it.
Audie Virtue.
Hi, little tiny creature from Lord knows where.
That's a little one.
It's a long dog. Hi, long dog. It's a hot dog. You're eating a leaf. Is it that bad in the world?
Probably got a drip of grease on it or something.
Did y'all like that?
Ready to shoot pictures.
Like that one.
Okay.
Neglectful in my view.
Figured out the puzzle. Do you need shears to clip anything?
You need to
Got a pin feather there.
Yeah, you'll need to get that. We'll need to do some
Little touch up.
touch up on the stuff. Where's the other one? This one?
That one.
Yep.
Where is my paper towels? I need to get paper towels.
It's tight. I don't like. You like that on there?
Okay. I thought my favorite was number 3. Interesting presentation and also a great piece of meat. My least favorite was 155. It was a little too hot, but all of them were good.
My favorite was number 4. I thought it had a very good flavor. It had a nice smoky undertone, and it looked great. My least favorite was number 6. It just had a very strange aftertaste. Meat was a little too chewy for my taste, but yeah.
My first favorite was number 2, and I also like number 5. I didn't particularly care for number 1 and number 6. They were both too spicy for my taste, and they did have kind of an aftertaste.
My favorite was number 2 and number 1, and my least favorite was number 6. It was too spicy for my taste.
My favorite was number 5. Very tender, very good taste. Number 3 I thought had a little vinegary type aftertaste. And number 1 was just a little bit too spicy for my taste. That would have been my least favorite. Overall, they've very good presentation on most of them and good taste, except for that one that had a little spice.
You handle them so gently.
You gotta have, you can, when you're handling your meat, you need to be delicate at all times. And that is an understatement. You need to be very delicate. You don't want to rub it too right, you know. That came out wrong, all right?
You don't want to rub your meat too hard?
Exactly. You gotta be gentle.
Or somebody else do it to me.
You're right, but in this scenario, I don't want anybody. See, I know what I like best when it comes to my meat.
You like to handle your own meat.
Yeah. Well, no. I prefer.
When we're putting meat in a box, you want to handle your own meat.
When putting meat in a box, I want to handle my own meat.
For turning.
For turning.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Knock, knock.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I said I walked by
All right.
when you're trying to find y'all.
Trying to find us?
I'm Patty spaghetti rolls.
You got a bright shirt on.
Well, thank you. It's a little hot this morning. Ben, do you know the Stevens family from Diana? Charles and Murray?
What?
Ben and Brad?
Somewhat, yes, ma'am.
But Ben's my son-in-law.
Oh, okay.
My daughter Ellen uses Jack's Old South Barbecue. She buys it by the case from Tracy.
Okay, that's my uncle.
And I just want to get y'all got any? Is Jack's New South different than Jack's Old South Barbecue?
Yes, ma'am. We don't have any sauce for sale, no, ma'am.
You don't?
No, ma'am. We're just competing right now.
We're combined 180 years old and we walk all over this place trying to find Mom. We had to bark at the Moose Club.
The Moose Club.
Well, this is a disappointment.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, ma'am.
I know you are. Well, see, I'm Myron's groupie.
Myron's groupie.
One of his groupies?
God almighty. I will definitely send your regards.
Myron and Tracy
My God.
like cats and dogs. He said one day the school bus stopped and Myron and Tracy got off and as soon as they got off, Myron knocked the fire out of Tracy and Tracy picked up a peachtree limb and knocked it down.
Yeah, that's how they roll.
But anyway, I always, when I go buying, I go to Tracy's and eat, and my daughter always buys a case of that barbecue sauce at the time. Well, I just have to tell her y'all work selling it. I can't believe y'all come to place me. But she said, say your mother and grandmother makes it to order. Old South barbecue sauce.
They have a corporation.
Is they now? Okay, well this is a good while back, but that's their favorite barbecue sauce. Well, alrighty. I'm just going to go read then. Sorry about that.
Have a good one, man.
Be sure to tell Myron you ate his group.
I will.
You can bleep that out. Bye.
Jesus Christ. Alright, the idea for this specific box is I go with 8 exact pieces. This is my traditional box. And so for folks out there watching this, you steal my idea, that's copyright infringement, and I will hunt you down. And I will find you. But I pick up 8 of the best ribs I can find for my specific box. And I make what we call, in the barbecue land, at least under my roof, the Jack of Diamonds.
Uh-huh.
You got those parsuit heads? It's my time, hit that button. Alright. And you put your centerpiece. Alright. Yeah, we're going to do some wiping down on this one.
Just a little?
Just a little. When it does come down to Michael mixing playing with his meat, it tends to get messy.
We can see that.
You
Look
got
at
a
the
morsel
box.
on it there.
I think was the best one. Was cooked just right and had very good flavor. Number 5, I think I liked the least. Was way overcooked, kind of mushy, and didn't have a whole lot of flavor to it.
Okay, number 1 was not cooked quite enough, but had a good flavor. 2 was good. 3 was good. 4 to me had a salty taste, and 5 and 6 were overcooked.
Hi. 1, again, was not done. I liked 2, and I really liked 3 and 4, actually. 5 and 6 were definitely overdone and burnt sugar on the ribs.
Okay, I would say number 1 and number 3 were probably undercooked. They were a little too tough than they should be. Number 6 was probably a little overcooked. It was a little too fallen apart. They all tasted relatively good, but I would say number 2 and number 5 were my best.
Number 3 for me, it was a very thick rib, and that made it very difficult to get it consistently cooked all the way through. And so along the edge of the bone, I had it where it was almost so overcooked it was hard. But there wasn't one that I didn't like.
So we have to run with this one.
Not really what I'm wanting to do, but when I got time to do it.
You gotta get it there.
101.
Send it.
Okay, basically most of the meats we had here were very even. They were very consistent. As far as the taste, everybody's pork was very tender. The appearances were all very similar. I would say entry number 2 had slightly a little better a little more seasoning, had a little better flavor overall. Number 1 I thought was outstanding, but I'd have to say across the board it was very even. There wasn't what I would really call a wow moment, and there wasn't what I would really call a uh-oh moment. But overall was very, very good. I'd rate it very highly.
Well, my favorite was definitely the second one. Had wonderful flavor from the pork and the rub and the sauce, and everything combined just made it just outstanding. My least favorite was the 5th one, which I couldn't quite detect what the flaw in the taste was, but sort of a chemical nastiness that I just could not eat. The other ones overall were pretty good. They tended to be a little overcooked, maybe a little mushy.
I liked number 2. Tenderness was outstanding. The taste, everything about it, the rub, the sauce were excellent. My least favorite was probably number 6. It had a little bit of a too mustardy finish to it, and number 5 had a little bit of a chemical taste.
I also like number 2 the best, and number 3 was pretty good, especially the bark on it, but number 2 was the best overall.
Getting crooked, huh?
This one's five, 6. Seven. Vinny, you think are good?
Let me do something real quick. We'll get that back out of there, man.
Yeah. Pretty piece.
How many is that?
7.
You gonna just do 8?
Yeah, I wouldn't do more than that.
What do y'all think?
Overall, the brisket was very good. My favorite was probably number 1. It was very flavorful, very moist. At number 3 also was very good as well. But very close. Very good brisket today.
The appearance of number 1 was excellent in my opinion. The flavor was good and it was very moist. I liked number 5, and the reason being is the flavor was so rich and it was also very, very moist.
Number 1 was tender for the shredded parts, but the sliced was quite dry. I did like that it was smoky. Number 2, the slices were pretty dry and didn't have a lot of flavor at all. The burnt ends were actually also pretty dry. Number 3 was on the drier side, a lot of bouillon flavor, not much smoke flavor. Number 4, the slice was too salty for me to eat, which was a shame because it was really nicely cooked, and I liked the burnt end on that a lot. Number 5 was the slices were on the dry and chewy side, but the burnt ends were very good. And number 6, the slice was dry and didn't have flavor at all, and the burnt end was also quite dry.
I'm only going to comment on 3 and 5. They were my 2 favorite. 3, I could really pick up the bouillon base. And 5 also had a bouillon base, which I really liked. It also had a crust of a black pepper, which I think complements beef. I did not favor the ones that had a really sweet glaze. I don't believe that goes on beef very well.
Everything overall was pretty good. The things that stood out to me were the kebabs, between the color that went on and just the texture and the flavor in there, and then also the squash down at the bottom. I thought was very excellent. It had a lot of flavor in it. The texture was not as well; it was a little crunchy, but overall very good.
Can you identify?
This one was a lentil. Some type of lentil concoction, meatball thing. Then we have the kebabs, a tomato with cheese on top, some type of corn concoction, some squash, and some mushrooms.
Okay. You're right.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to come up with a favorite. I think actually my favorite was the kebab because each of the vegetables was well cooked. Yeah, texture was good and flavor overall was good. The lentil, I hate to say meatball because there's no meat. The lentil ball with other vegetables was quite good also. Ah, that's a good word for it, yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It didn't taste, I had real falafel. It tastes like falafel.
Deep fried.
I'd have to definitely say that all the presentations were great. The food was very well cooked and prepared, and I think personally my favorite was the shiitake mushroom with the Asiago cheese and the asparagus. I could have handled more of that. I don't know who made it, but I would definitely. And if y'all don't finish y'all's, I'll eat it. And the corn concoction was the presentation was really great with the little teacups and it was really, really good, and it's healthy.
I had two favorites. One of them was the kebab, and I liked the vegetables were cooked perfectly, and they have some real nice seasoning on them that has a little bit of bite at the end. And my second favorite one was the squash, because I loved squash, and the flavors were good, and the vegetables were cooked just right, and really good.
I think my favorite is the mushroom. It was phenomenal, and then the next would be the squash, and then I liked the tomato with the cream cheese on it. It was a beautiful presentation, and it was good.
He's made so many of them, he's going to put up a new shelf.
Good job.